The emotional disregard men face in their relationships. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Lancescurv. It's Friday, April 4th, and everything is running well. Progress is being made. Peace of mind is being enjoyed. I suffered enough to get to this point, and I'm not going to apologize for it. But I want to say there's a silent burden beneath the surface of black masculinity, and many of us can't seem to put words to it, but that's something I'm going to try right now. But number one, I have to begin by saying that everyone, no matter who they are, is facing the weight of modern life. The uncertainty of the future hangs over us like a cloud, and there's no doubt that the pressure is real. But in the black community, we carry more than just the general weight of society. We carry a deeper burden made up of many layers. For black men in particular, that weight is heavy and relentless. It isn't just about surviving day to day. It's about surviving while shouldering the expectations of manhood, success, emotional strength, and stability in a society that often doesn't give us the same chances as others. One of the biggest stress points in relationships today is financial pressure. That's not a secret. Most people agree that money problems are one of the leading causes of breakups, divorces, and emotional disconnection. Now think about how that plays out for black men who face some of the highest unemployment rates in the country. Imagine being expected to provide, to lead, and protect while also being locked out of the many economic opportunities. The weight of trying to meet these standards, especially when constantly being told you're failing and falling short, can lead to serious mental and emotional health challenges. I know many who are falling victim to this. And the truth is, very few people stop to ask how black men are doing inside. That silence is a pain all its own. Across the board, men in relationships are reporting more emotional neglect than ever before. But for black men, this neglect often comes with an added sting. When a man is struggling to meet financial expectations, he's not just seen as falling short, he's dismissed altogether. And when women, regardless of race, emotionally disregard their partners, black men are more likely to suffer the most damage. Why? Because we're already starting from a place where society undervalues us. So when the person closest to us does it too, the hurt runs deeper. It confirms the ugly message the world keeps trying to send, that we're not enough. Even successful black men aren't immune. You can have a good job, a solid career, and a heart that's full of love to give, but still be dismissed or disrespected in relationships simply because of how you're perceived. Some women, not to demonize them, consciously or not, treat their partners as disposable when they feel they no longer need a man emotionally or financially. That imbalance creates a toxic dynamic. It's not always about what's done out loud. It's often what's not done, being overlooked, unheard, unsupported. Many women don't even realize they're doing it, but the damage adds up. I'm not just saying or speaking from observation. I've lived this. I've been in relationships where I gave my all, stood strong, and handled my responsibilities, but still felt like I wasn't seen or appreciated. And so many of us go through that. And while I've had a couple of good ones, the painful ones stand out more because of the emotional toll they took. This isn't just a gender issue, it's a deeply racial one too. So as we dive into this conversation, understand that while emotional disregard in relationships is a growing issue for most men, it's especially deep and damaging for black men. And it's time we talk about it, break it down, and begin to understand the pain behind the silence. The silent struggle of men in relationships is very much a real thing. Just the other day, I had a friend of mine basically say this without really wanting to say it clearly. Now, he's a good communicator, but he was trying to ignore the pain while trying to convey this to me at the same time, and I understood it. I let him talk. I didn't bring it up, but I am going to talk to him again after putting this out. But here's the thing. Men are often told to open up, to share their emotions, and to be vulnerable with their partners, right? Society pushes the narrative that women want emotionally available men. But when men actually take that step, they are often met with resistance, dismissal, or even hostility. Instead of being heard, they are corrected, invalidated, or subjected to a long-winded explanation of why their feelings are wrong. This creates a painful dynamic where men begin to withdraw, feeling unseen and unheard. I gotta speak about it because I know too many brothers who are going through this and they're looking at themselves like, well, is something wrong with me? I'm going down the checklist. I'm faithful. I'm hardworking. I bring the money home. I take care of my wife. I try to compliment her, look out for her in ways that she may not be speaking out. I try to do everything, but I'm dismissed. Ain't that something? Here's a common frustration. Many men experience this, that when they bring up their feelings, their partner turns the conversation into a self-centered monologue about her own struggles. For example, a man might say, I feel really stressed and anxious coming home from work, not knowing what mood I'm going to find you in. Instead of acknowledging his feelings, the response is often defensive. Well, let me tell you why I'm in a bad mood when you get home. I've been dealing with the kids. I've been working all day. I had to do X, Y, and Z. My stomach was hurt. I was on my period. No, I didn't. I had that in for humor, right? But that's pretty much what you get. What was initially about his emotional distress becomes a justification for why she feels worse. Rather than validating his concerns, she lectures him on why he should feel differently, making it clear that his emotions are secondary. Another common reaction is outright denial. If a man expresses how he feels, rather than listening, his partner may challenge the validity of his emotions. Now here's the man. I feel like we've lost that spark we once had. We don't laugh together or have fun like we used to. And here's what the woman says. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm the same person I was when we got married. That's ridiculous. Instead of engaging in the conversation, she dismisses his experience, effectively gaslighting him into questioning his own reality and perspectives. This makes him feel even more isolated, as though his emotional needs don't matter. When men continuously face this kind of emotional shutdown, they start pulling away. At first, they may try repeatedly to get their partners to listen. But after enough dismissals, they stop talking. They stop sharing. They emotionally check out of the relationship. And this is when danger creeps in. Men who feel unheard and invalidated are vulnerable to outside attention. If another woman comes along who actually listens, who doesn't tell them they're wrong, who makes them feel valued and understood, he may be drawn to her in ways he never intended. Specialists have wrote that Many affairs don't start with lust. They start with a man alone, emotionally drained, feeling unseen, and suddenly meeting someone who acknowledges his emotions rather than dismissing them. Right? That's how it happens. You see, most women think that it's a lust thing, because there's a lot of lusty looking women out here, and it's not their fault that they're built a certain way, act a certain way. But when they offer that type of comfort emotionally, human nature takes it, where after a while they may end up in bed. That's how things happen. And then the man gets called a dirty dog. But see, here it is. Women often say they want a man who is emotionally available. But when he does open up, they either perceive it as a weakness or turn the conversation back to themselves. This contradiction creates a lose-lose situation for men. If he suppresses his feelings, he's accused of being emotionally closed off. If he expresses his feelings, he's told he's wrong, overreacting, or making things up. This inconsistency leaves men frustrated and emotionally abandoned in their own relationships. If women want genuine emotional intimacy with their partners, they must learn to listen without judgment, correction, or redirection. When a man shares his emotions, the response should not be a debate or a self-defense mechanism. Instead, it should be simple. I hear you. That must be tough. I appreciate you sharing this with me. Validation is not about agreeing with everything he says, but about recognizing his emotions as real and worthy of discussion. Without this, relationships suffer and emotional disconnection becomes the norm. Ladies, your actions have consequences. If your man constantly feels dismissed, disregarded, and emotionally invalidated, don't be surprised if he stops opening up to you. And if he eventually finds comfort in another woman who simply listens, don't act shocked. The validation and respect you withhold can easily be given by someone else. Men are not emotionless robots. They feel deeply, even if they don't always show it. When they do take the risk of being vulnerable, it's a test of trust. How you respond determines whether that trust strengthens or shatters. So the next time your man comes to you with his feelings, resist the urge to correct him, challenge him, or make it about yourself. Instead, just listen. It might save your relationship. As I bring these points to a close, I want to make it clear that this isn't about blaming one side or creating a battle between men and women. This is about shedding light on a truth that's been hidden for too long. Black men are hurting. Many of us carry our pain in silence, not because we're too proud to speak, but because we've learned that the world often doesn't listen when we do. And when we try to express our emotional needs in relationships, we are sometimes met with coldness, indifference, or confusion. That silence, that disregard, it cuts deeper than most people realize. We grow up learning to be strong. We're taught to protect, to provide, to push forward no matter what. But rarely are we taught how to process our emotions, how to be vulnerable without being judged, or how to ask for emotional support without being seen as weak. And when the people we love the most, our partners or wives or girlfriends, treat us like our feelings don't matter, it leaves scars. You may not see the scars on the outside, but trust me, they're there. And too often, they're left to fester without healing. It's time to break that cycle. Relationships should be places of comfort, not competition. Spaces of healing, not harm. Black men don't need to be fixed. We need to be understood. We don't want to be pitied. We want to be respected. We don't expect perfection from our partners. We just ask to be seen, heard, and valued as we truly are. No more chasing love with empty hands. No more pretending everything is okay when it's not. We need to start creating room for honesty, for emotion, and for growth on both sides. This isn't just about men learning to open up. It's about women being willing to truly listen, not to respond, not to judge, but to hear us out. It means recognizing that emotional support is not a one-way street. It's about realizing that being strong for someone doesn't mean never needing strength in return. And when a black man finally opens up to you, understand how much it took for him to get there. Handle that moment with care, not criticism. That's where real love lives. In the end, all we really want is connection, real connection. The kind that makes you feel safe when the world outside is tearing you down. The kind that reminds you you're not alone in your struggles. So as we move forward, let's do it better, together. Let's stop ignoring the pain of our men and start creating space for healing and truth. Because when black men are emotionally strong, loved, and supported, we all rise. And that's something worth fighting for. Thank you very much for listening. This is Lancescurv. Join the Lancescurv community on Lancescurv X and sign up with your email. Thank you so much for your time. I hope this struck home for someone. On to the next one. Much respect and much love. Peace.
Lancescurv.com. Bold, raw, and uncut.